Well, things look like they're in a bit of an operational pause, but they're not really, because of course there is a blackout of comms from the Ukrainians in Kherson, which means that there's going to be some significant activity there. It's unclear why the Russians are going towards Bakhmut. And Ukraine is still pushing on to the Kamina Savatovi line, which gives them the ability to strike where they want in Donetsk. So I still think that the momentum is with Ukraine for a number of reasons. And that is, you ask yourself a number of fundamental questions, which is, how can I keep the enemy dancing to my tune? It's Ukraine that's doing that. How can I break the enemy up? It's Ukraine that's doing that. And how can I present the enemy with multiple dilemmas? And it's that which the Ukrainians are doing to the Russians. So things are still in favor of the Ukrainians. Now, of course, we've seen a lot of attacks today with a Shahed 136, but I think you have to put that into some sort of context. This is not a sort of V2 rocket. This has an 88-pound warhead, and 23 out of 28 were shot down today. So this is not the capability to terrorize the civilians of Ukraine into submission. What would worry me more long term was if the Iranians were to give, and there's some suggestions from the US intelligence, the Fatah 110 and the Zolfagar surface to surface ballistic missile systems, which have between 300-kilometer or 700-kilometer range. If you really want to fight a deep battle from a Russian perspective and target all the enemy and the energy infrastructure of Ukraine, they're the weapons to do so.
Yeah, what other cards has Vladimir Putin got to play? I mean, the idea of the deal, such as it is, to allow passage for grain shipments out into the Black Sea. There's a card he could play there, isn't there?
Yeah, he could indeed. And the initial agreement was for 120 days. And that sort of worries me. It's due to conclude on the 19th of November. Now, there's two aspects to that, I think, which are important. The first one is that Russia will make demands to get more out of the current agreement. And indeed, what they seem to want, bizarrely though it might seem, is to have ammonia exports through a pipeline to Odessa. Now, Odessa, of course, is not one of the occupied territories, and there are still some sort of trading relationships there. Ukraine would want the agreement to go on for a year, but would want another port to come into play at Mykolaiv. So, if they wanted to play the food card again, they could. And of course, there's a second aspect to this, which is that 16% of the Ukrainian storage facilities are also either damaged, destroyed, or taken control of by Russia. So if they wanted to use that in the deep battle as well and take out more of the Ukrainian grain storage facilities, then you'd have both the food card played again, and then if they go after the electricity energy infrastructure assets, you've got the code card played from a Russian perspective, and then that could be wider if they go to the hybrid war fix with deniable attacks on energy infrastructure in the West, for
Yes.
example.